Hey, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by Chuck, Pierre from Simple Plan. How's it going, guys?
Real good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic now that I'm talking to you. Congrats on the antidote. Congrats on all of your continued success. I'm a longtime fan, so it's great to see.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, we're super happy. The response for the song "The Antidote" has been overwhelmingly positive, and it's always stressful when we put a new song out. You don't know how the fans are going to react to it. So it's so happy. We're so happy to see that people love it. So it's been great.
It's exciting to be back playing music, and after it's been a long 19 months, so it feels good to be here talking to you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, getting right into the antidote. I feel like you guys have really just perfected the classic sound of Simple Plan in the song, but then also have made it like modern and new. Was that challenging to accomplish that?
Well, we were trying to perfect the sound that we do best and modernize it. So you really nailed it on the head. I mean,
we did it, dude.
That was really our goal, was to sort of be Simple Plan. Sometimes in the path of our career, sometimes when you're an artist, you're a band, you think like, I have to reinvent myself. I have to do something different. I have to prove to the world that I can sound different. Well, now we're like, you know what? Let's just be Simple Plan. Let's be the best version of who we can be. And of course, the modern production, modern twist. And I think we nailed it. So we're super happy. And if people are wondering what the rest of the album's going to sound like, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, that's the best way to describe it. It sounds like Simple Plan, the way that you expect us to sound, but 2021, 2022.
Nice. How does it feel that pop punk is making a comeback right now? That's gotta be cool.
It's been the craziest thing, and it's so exciting. We had this record and this song written before the pandemic hit, and we decided to kind of, sit on it and wait until we could tour and we could go and do like an actual promotion of it and go see our fans. And in a way, we were kind of freaking out. Like, we want this music out, we want to be out there, but it was kind of like the best thing that ever happened, because now you're seeing the pop punk everywhere. You get all these new artists that are into it and have been inspired by bands of our era. So it's really, really rad to come back and have a record that is like Pierre was saying earlier, like the quintessential pop punk Simple Plan sound. So it feels like it really fits the moment, and we can't wait to share all the music and see what people think. This new generation, what they think about like the older bands doing it still.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for myself, it feels nostalgic that it's coming back. But then I also have like a 10-year-old nephew who's obsessed with you guys. He loves you guys so much. You definitely see the generational aspect to it. I'm sure that you see with fans as well, the old ones and then bringing in the new ones.
Yeah, the thing that's getting a bit weird, obviously in a great way, but a little bit bizarre, is when we meet people and you meet a young fan, maybe 15 years old. And they're like, oh, you were my mom's favorite band, and that's how I learned about your band. When I was born, my mom used to listen, and I'm like, what? It doesn't feel like we're that old, but I guess it's been, when you're around for 20 years, that's what happens. So, but it's pretty cool.
And it's wild to see too, like on TikTok. We had this huge "I'm Just a Kid" challenge thing that happened, which was insane, and it just keeps going and going. And then you have these people that are like, oh, that's the "I'm Just a Kid" band, and you're like, okay, there's a whole 20 years of songs and albums, but that's fine. If that's your entry point, we're good. And now with the streaming services, they can go and discover like literally all the songs, and it's so easy. So we have this whole new bunch of fans that are coming on, and it's really, you couldn't ask for a better gift as a band,
Yeah, I can only imagine that's got to be so weird with people saying, oh, that's that band from TikTok.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting to play "I'm Just a Kid" again. When we play it in festivals where people might not know us, they might be like, hey, that's the TikTok song. So. Yeah. But we embrace it. It's all good.
Yeah, like we got on TikTok. We were not on before this happened, and this kind of forced our hand. And honestly, at first it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing? Is this the right place for us? And now we're fully into it and embracing it and having fun. And I've been reading like the comments. People are like, oh man, like I'm so happy Simple Plan are here. It's the best thing that happened on TikTok for me. And so we're like, let's go, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, and it's a looming app too. It is tough to really just understand how it works, but you guys have done such a good job. Your socials on there are insane. It's so good.
It took a while. It took a while to get used to it. At first, I was like, I don't really understand TikTok. And I'm like, I just scroll. I don't get it. What is it? But now I'm into it. Now I'm spending too much time on TikTok, but it's
addictive.
Yeah,
careful.
Yeah, you and me both, for sure. You guys have also talking about the fact that you guys have been around for over 20 years. You guys have really just had this Paul Rudd effect too, because you haven't aged in 20 years. It's crazy.
It's the light.
Yeah, it's the ring light. No, I think I kind of think it's being from Canada, you know, it's like, it's cold. So we grew up with free cryogenic therapy every year, you know, for 4 months out of the year. And it really preserves the skin.
And I think it's the music. It's having fun being in the band. Like I kind of look around and I feel so privileged. Like you meet people that, you know, you used to go to school with, and they got like jobs that are sometimes like, you know, kind of in the office, and they're punching in, and maybe it's not the funnest. And we get to travel around the world. We get to play music for a living. We get to be on stage. And I think you also are forced in a way to keep up with everything that's happening, and the new music, the new shows, the new actors or whatever. You kind of have to know about it. So I think it keeps you in a way like a bit younger. So I think we've been very lucky with that. So it's been fun. Kids, I mean, I still feel the same way that I felt when we started out this band. So same energy and same love for it, you know?
Yeah, you can see that too, for sure. Is there any artists right now that you see that are doing it that you think like, oh, I would love to like get in the studio with that person? Is there anyone that comes to mind?
I don't know. There's so many. There's so many good, I mean, incredible artists that are coming out. It's hard to pinpoint one of them. I think like it's cool to see people like Machine Gun Kelly and Jaden and a bunch of other bands that are just kind of like
Willow is pretty badass.
Yeah,
too.
and then Olivia Rodrigo doing like a pop punk kind of like thing. It's really cool to see the focus be on music that's high energy and fun
and instruments
and some guitars and people actually playing instruments, you know, rather than just programming everything. So although I like all of it, I don't want to, you know, we're Canadian. We don't want to hate anybody, but it's nice to see it.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And congrats on going on tour with the Offspring. That's so exciting. When did you guys first connect with the Offspring? When did you all first meet?
Good question. I mean, you know, playing a lot of festivals together, Warped Tour and other things, we kind of crossed paths here and there. But I think the first time that we kind of interacted a little bit more was, I think, in France or
yes.
Yeah, we played a few shows together, and we got. I remember like having a dressing room that was right next to theirs. And then we were like, oh, look, this is what they have for, remember they had like they had shoes and things to pick from before the stage.
They had a wardrobe all set up for them.
Like, oh, I think I might use this little bracelet here for tonight. And I was like, oh, that must be nice.
We're like, wow, man, that's
a luxury.
That's we don't have that. It's all like scrunch in our backpacks and you know, but it was pretty impressive. So I think we did that with them, and we did a Warped Tour in Australia with them as well.
Yep.
And recently for the tour, we just got to hang out with them. We went to their studio in not too far from here in California, and we got to actually spend time and not just like, hey, what's up? And they're the nicest guys. Like it's kind of surreal. We grew up, I think Pierre is the one that introed me to the Offspring. He discovered them on a snowboard video, like back when we were in high school. And they were the gateway to this whole punk rock world and all these bands like Bad Religion and Pennywise. And so to meet in a way like the bands that were such a huge influence and to become like, I mean, friends and I would say like equals in some ways, it's been quite awesome, and we can't wait to do the show. It's gonna be awesome. Big Canadian tour too, like 21 shows.
That's the biggest show we've ever done, I think.
I know, it's everywhere. We're going like everywhere.
I know, I saw that on the list. You guys are heading up like Prince George, like all of these like smaller cities, which is so exciting for everybody.
Lethbridge, I didn't even know where Lethbridge was.
Crazy, right? And that's the way to do it, because I mean, people are always upset in Canada, like when you're doing like Vancouver, or, you know, and Toronto, Montreal. It's like, come on,
skip a bunch of places.
There's so much more awesome places to play, and we've done like big cross Canadian tour, but I think this has to be one of the most expensive ones. So it's good to get back into it. You know, in February, perfect timing.
We know the weather's gonna be nice.
Yeah, the best time of year to go on a tour for sure. The whole album was done before the pandemic even started, right?
Yep. Yeah, we started recording this record in 2019. I want to say like September or so, and we finished it right when it was when the like I remember the last trip that the guys that live in Montreal came down to LA to finish up. It was like, whoa, what's going on? There's this whole pandemic going on. We need to get out of here. We need to go home before it locks everything down. And basically, we still had the mixes to do, but all the recording was done beforehand. And some of the songs on the record, I mean, The Antidote's kind of got that feel for it. There's another song coming out that really, if you hear it, it sounds like it was written about the pandemic, and it really was written before. But it's kind of strange.
It's crazy how it changed the meaning of some of the songs, and it made them, I would say, even more relevant in some ways. And we had no idea, obviously. And so that's kind of cool. I'm excited to see how they resonate with people when they hear them after what happened, because it changed everyone, like all of our lives. So. You know, that's
cool that it became even more relatable. When you think like sitting on music this long, it might become less relevant, right?
Yeah, it's very strange. Sometimes we're like, man, we're like, as the pandemic was happening, we're like, this is not cool. However, it really makes this song very meaningful. It's kind of cool.
No, and I hear that in The Antidote too. I'm like, wow, this is like but you guys have always, I feel like, had that positivity in your tracks, and it's that upbeatness to it.
Yeah, well, I think if I could describe Simple Plan music, I generally, it's about struggling, but it's about the, the hope and looking forward to coming out in a positive way. So, but a lot of our songs, you look at I'm Just a Kid or Perfect or Welcome to My Life or all these songs are a lot of times about having a tough time, but still remaining hopeful and knowing that there's a good outcome out there.
And it's interesting because the fans have used it that way as well. Like they're going through some tough times, and I think the music in a way, like, and that's what we were told, and it was kind of the inspirational bit for The Antidote. Like it's become their thing that helps them, like their lifeline, their antidote for whatever they're going through. So it's cool to see that they're using our music like that,
Yeah, totally. I feel that way too about the song. I feel like it's like up to interpretation for each person to kind of make it their own too.
Yeah.
Personally, looking back on your career, and I want to talk about Role Model for a second, the clothing line, because I feel like you guys incorporated this so much into your music and your image back in the day before all these artists are now doing it. Like Justin Bieber's got Drew. You guys are kind of, how I see anyways, like the origin of that. What made you want to release Role Model back in the day? How did that happen?
Some pioneers, right? Like pioneers.
I think we felt, all that we were wearing at the time was these brands. We were wearing like Billabong or Hurley or whatever Blink-182 is wearing, or Atticus, or they're pretty simple things. I mean, we're still, as you can tell, I just showed up and we're wearing the same thing. There's no logo on it, but we just wear t-shirts. It's kind of what we wear, right? And sometimes we were trying to shop for things, and we're like, I can't find one that I like. I like a cool logo that looks like this. And I'm like, why don't we just make one, And the name Role Model seemed funny, kind of sarcastic at the same time. So we started out years ago, and it kind of phased off because long, boring story, but we finally closed or kind of like stopped doing it years and years ago. But we've been talking about bringing it back because
it's online now. We got some old school design back on. We just launched our new online store, simpleplanstore.com, and we did bring back the like the Role Model stuff because people are asking for it, and it was interesting because now like it's such a different era. Like now everybody's like, oh, we need to build our brand, and like even as an artist, like people say, oh, it's that's not our brand, that's our brand, and for us it just felt like it would be cool to own something, to control something and do it and be creative with it and not be at the mercy of these other companies, and just kind of do what we felt was cool and was rad. And I think that was the idea, and I feel like I miss it. I kind of want to bring it back, and maybe we'll start a new one. Maybe we'll just kind of relaunch Role Model. But it's really fun to being in a band gives you a chance to do all these things that are kind of outside ventures, but they're creative and they're part of the process of like trying to do fun stuff as an artist. So yeah, we're down to definitely bring it back.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. I'm excited for that to come back. That's amazing. Before I let you guys go, I'm a huge fan of the movie New York Minute. I have loved this movie for years. So I just wanted to ask, is there any memory or any like moment that stands out from shooting that movie?
I think the one I can never forget is when Chuck had to do the line, Lomax.
I turned out, he's like, Lomax? And you know what? I got a SAG card out of that, so like I can be like a full-on actor now. I never really used it, unfortunately. It didn't. I thought it was the launching pad to like a whole career. Fortunately, that did not materialize, but it was crazy. We were shooting we actually recorded our live album that we at Hard Rock Live in Florida the night before. And I remember it was just like the scale of these movies, like, and I remember like, oh, there's no way we can get there. They wanted us on that day. They're like, okay, we'll send a jet and you guys can fly. And so at 1 a.m. we took off from Florida. We landed at 4 a.m. and I think we had to literally be on set at 5:30. And then we had to wait until 6 p.m. to shoot anything. It was the like hurry up and wait, like the movie style. And but just the scale and the magnitude of the whole thing. It was like a real Hollywood movie, and it was just a cool experience to be a part of it. They were super nice too. They got to take some pictures and hang out a little bit. And
if I remember, they were actually studying at the same time, right?
Yeah, they were in school. So
we were talking to them. They, Mary Kate and Ashley were hanging out with us for a minute, and they had their books and they were like studying as they were filming this movie. So they were still, they were still trying to do something great. So it was pretty awesome. And they were nice girls, and they were super sweet, and yeah, it was a fun time.
And I think it's on Netflix now. You can watch it and everything. So people are like, there's like I'm getting all these tweets and like these Instagram messages like, oh, I just watched New York Minute, it's so awesome, love you guys. So that's how some people discovered us.
Yeah,
like, you know,
the power of movies, you know, especially Mary-Kate and Ashley, you know, fans. There's so many people that discovered us because of this song. And it remains their favorite song. Like some people come to the show and like, please play Vacation. So it's pretty awesome.
That's crazy. You guys had, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had a song in like Cheaper by the Dozen too, didn't you?
Yep.
Yes,
yeah. Well, I think we had placements in like over 100 TV movies.
Malcolm in the Middle, Scooby-Doo, like we did a lot of stuff. Like it was kind of, it was fun. It was really cool to be a part of all these different things. And again, that's how a lot of people discovered the band. And now they're fans, you know, for like 20 years because of one song in a TV show or a movie. It's kind of insane.
It was the peak of pop punk.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Or you never know. Maybe it'll be 2022. Come back. Yeah,
maybe, exactly.
Totally. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much as well. Have a great one.
Cheers.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day.